Hi, this is Andy Barrett at Object Arts, and this is the second part of my Better Hello World tutorial for Dolphin Smalltalk. Now, in the first part, we saw how to build a Hello World application in the Model View Presenter paradigm. And in this video, what I'd like to do is to take you through the reasons why building it in MVP is a good idea. You may be thinking, well, why do I need to create three components just to display a simple text string on the screen? And that's a very valid question, and I hope to answer that here. So let's go to the package browser and load in our Hello World package. We can right click on the packages pane, choose install package, and choose Better Hello World. And now let's open a workspace and do some experimentation in here. First of all, let's open the basic Hello World application. We'll call it BHW, assign it to a variable, and we'll say Better Hello World show. And if I evaluate that, you see there we have our Hello World application. Now, over here, in this variable, we have the object which represents our Hello World application, which in fact is the Hello World, Better Hello World presenter, shell presenter. And if you remember, I'm typing Control D here to display it. So if you remember, our model is a value holder with the text object, the string object Hello World in it. So one thing we can do is we could open another one, BHW2 we'll call it, and what we can do is we can open it on the same model as the one we're already using. So let's open Better Hello World, and we can show it on a particular model, and let's show it on the BHW model. And I could type a Control E to evaluate this, but I'll just show you what I'm doing. So there we have two windows, both looking at the same model. And we can see they're looking at the same model by going ahead and changing it. So let's go to here and we'll get the model for BHW here, which we know is a value holder with Hello World in it. Now let's send a value message to it with a new text string. Okay, and if we evaluate that, you see that both of the views change. So these two presenters are sharing the same model, and this is quite a useful feature in applications. You don't necessarily have to share the model between two separate applications. The model could be shared, or models can be shared within applications. And I'm sure you can think of lots of situations where that might be quite a useful thing to do. Another useful thing that the separation of responsibility that Model View Presenter provides for us is the ability to attach different views onto the same presenter. So let's go and take a look how that works. I'll open the class browser and go and find our Better Hello World class. And if you remember, we created a view called the default view. Now let's try thinking about creating another view, perhaps an editable view for it. So let's go and edit the default view. Okay, and instead of having a piece of static text here, let's have an editable text. So let's just, for the time being, let's just drag that out of the way, and let's go and choose an ordinary text presenter field, text presenter default view. Let's drag that across. Okay, and let's do the same sort of changes we made last time. Let's increase the size of the font. Okay, and this time we'll make the colour an orange colour. And we can also let's use alignment center, and we can also turn off the border. Let's delete this object here. And now you see it's a bit difficult to see where our text object is, but we can always go over to the property inspector and select it in this view here, and then be able to drag it about as normal. Okay. Now we must give it a name to match it up of text to display. That's the name we had used before. Okay, and now let's save this view down. But we'll save it down as some of the different names. So let's save this down as the Better Hello World editable view. Okay, and I'll save that and close this window. So now when we go and look at the views available for our Better Hello World, we see that we now have two views, the original default view and our new editable view. If we launch the editable view, you'll see that it comes up, text selected, in orange as we specified, and we can actually go and edit that as we please. So what else can we do? So we've got a different editable view for our Hello World. Why don't we try and launch that from the original default view, so we can actually edit the text in our Hello World application. So what we're going to want to do that is we're going to want to add a push button which sends a command to the Better Hello World presenter. Let's edit the original default view, and let's add a push button to this. So from the toolbox we go to buttons, and we can choose any of these push buttons here. Let's choose the OK button, and once again we can resize it as necessary. We're going to change the text and make it an edit button, and now we need to specify the command that this will send to the presenter. And we do this in the command description node here in the properties editor. If you expand that, you see that there is a command here, and this needs a Smalltalk symbol. Symbols are preceded with a hash, and let's say call this edit. That's the command we're going to send. I'll accept that change, and if we now save this view down, close the view presenter. Let's launch that default view. Okay, and you see we've got our edit button, but it's not enabled, and that's because we haven't actually specified the command. The Dolphin MVP framework will automatically route commands to the place where it locates them in the model view presenter hierarchy. So if we try and if we now go and add a command handler for edit me, we should see that that button will become enabled. So let's write a method called edit me in the presenter, and let's make it launch the editable view on our same model. So the way to choose a different view is by choosing the presenter, and we should say show colon and the view name. We do need to get the case right, so that's actually capital E. And we want to show it on our own model, our current model, so on self model. And we'll accept that change. So now if we go back to this window here, you'll see that the edit button automatically becomes available even without restarting the application. And if we click it, you'll see that we get our editable view in orange as we specified it, and now we can edit this text, and when we hit enter, the changes get sent back to the model and it's refreshed in both windows. So I hope this video has shown you that there are some quite powerful things you can do with Model View Presenter because of the separation of the different elements. Not only can you share models between view and presenter pairs, but also you can specify different views to connect to the same presenter. Now, this can be quite useful if you, say, have two different teams working on your application. You may have a technical team working on the coding in Smalltalk for the models and the presenters, and you may also have a graphical design team working purely on the views using the View Composer, which is a largely non-technical activity. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has been a useful addition to your knowledge about Model View Presenter in Dolphin.